This is the podcast, not an interview. This is a conversation. No gimmicks, just reasons. 84 reasons. Come holler at me. What up, my good people? I am being true. This is 84 reasons. No games, no gimmicks, just reasons. And look, thank God that I went to a university that's really the everything school. Like, we really are the everything, because we win in everything. And not that school up there in Tennessee that will go unnamed trying to bite off us. That's another show for another day. But my next guest, to me, made the best decision he could have made. We're going to get into it, coming choosing to come back for his senior season. Shortstop, wearing that 2-4, wearing that Kobe Bryant, the great Josh Rivera. What's going on with you today, Josh?
Not much. Blessed opportunity to, live another day of life and get better.
Now, Josh, I kind of alluded to it. I mean, most guys, let's face it, 2023, we thought you already went through the draft. You on some big time ball club by now. What went into that decision to say, man, I want to come back for one more year?
It was tough, the draft process and stuff. It's full of, a lot of stress and stuff like that. But, I was taking last year's technically a redshirt sophomore due to, that COVID season. So, I sat back and realized that, it wouldn't hurt me to come back to school and, get closer to getting my degree. And to my family, that's one of the main priorities we had, when I decided to come to college in the first place, was to get a degree, because I'm a first generation college student. So it's amazing to have the opportunity to come back and get closer to finishing my degree. And coming back as technically a redshirt junior due to COVID. And, I just wanted to come back and, like I said, get closer to achieving that lifelong dream of mine of getting my degree and, fulfilling my parents' dreams for me. And then, just take my chance in the draft this year. So.
How much did your family help in that? Because a lot of times obviously mom and dad know, look, mom, I want to do what I told you guys I want to do, but I'm living out my athletic dream too. Like, I got a chance, to go pro, but how much did their praises and their prayers, let you know, listen, Josh, we support you, because a lot of times in your situation, you need your support system to kind of give you that it's okay, Josh, to come back one more year.
Oh, they played a big role in it, it was something we prayed on as a family a lot. And, they basically left it in my hands because, they wanted me to, make that big decision. And, they gave me their opinion on it. And, like I said, one of the biggest things they wanted from me growing up ever since I was a little kid was to finish school, because, they didn't have the opportunity to go to college. And, it was just a great priority of ours to, come back here at a top 5 public university and fulfill, both my dream and their dream of getting my bachelor's degree and, finishing school, and then, going to play professional baseball. But for the most part, they left it in my hands. We talked about it a lot, and, they just, told me that they would support me in any decision I'd make. So it was great having their, their support, and, this is still going. They're always supporting me in whatever decision I make. And, I just had to take in their opinion and, kind of just work it all out for myself. And, I'd say it ended up being a great decision to come back for sure.
No, it's been a hell of a decision. I mean, I know I hear the modesty in your voice, but you're a guy that obviously, said, look, it's something else about my game. It's like, because as players, we see what no one else sees. Regardless of how well I'm playing, I got to see it for me. I got to be able to say, all right, what I see about your game is, number one, they call it the eye in baseball. You watching these pitches, because I get it. You want to have as many quality at bats. I think well over 17 walks this season. Talk about that, because as a player, y'all taught to be aggressive at the plate, but at the same time, I don't want to be swinging at pitches that aren't there.
Yeah, that's a big thing. Most of the time in baseball, for most of the good hitters out there, we all believe that it's you versus you every time you step in that box. And if you really have that ability to put the ball in play and really compete in the box, sometimes that's exactly what it is. It's you versus you. That's not taking any credit away from any pitchers, but as a competitor, you know that you're in there and you can do a job, and you know you can perform at a high level like that. So it's definitely been a big priority of mine to, you know, kind of get my pitch, you know, certain counts, and then once it gets to two strikes, you know, it's all about protecting and fighting, you know, and that's just that competitive nature. So yeah, I mean, a couple years, the past couple years, you know, there's been times where I've fallen to, you know, getting too aggressive and anxious at the plate and wanting to do way too much instead of just, you know, dealing with what's given to me in the moment. So, you know, I made it a priority of mine to, you know, be as relaxed as possible in the box and really hunt for those pitches that I can do damage with, rather than, you know, giving up my bat and, you know, rolling over or popping up on a pitch that is a better pitcher's pitch than it is a hitter's pitch. So yeah, I've just been on the hunt, and you know it's been paying off really well for me, and you know I just got to continue to do that.
I like to look at you guys in batting practice. Like I like because you guys got to do it all the time. When I see you, I said when people see my describe it, say, man, how does Josh hit? I said, listen, he gonna drop his shoulders, like right, he gonna drop his shoulders, and right before he gonna give you that little lick, because your bat speed is serious. Because I saw you hit a grand slam against Cincinnati, and it looked like you didn't even get all of it. Yes, the wind can help. We get it. But it looked like you hit it. And I was like, man, I want this thing to stay fair. Did you even feel like you got underneath, got all of the ball, or did you say, listen, I'll take the grand slam no matter how it comes?
No, honestly, I thought that ball was a foul ball, and you know off the bat, I knew immediately I mishit it. It definitely wasn't. It was a good pitch to hit, but you know I just didn't take the best swing. And yeah, I mean, you know, I was kind of at first I was kind of disappointed because you know in that big time situation, you know, you get a pitch to hit like that, you typically want to drive the ball in the gap somewhere or something. And yeah, I mean, I kind of just sliced it a little bit to the right side, and you know, I knew, you know, I caught barrel on it, but I didn't know how, you know, how the wind would carry it, and I didn't know if it would stay fair or not. So honestly, you know, I just decided to keep running it out because you never know. You know, and that's, you know, the type of aggressive player that I am. You know, I like to run balls out and, you know, try to get the most out of every base I can. And by the time I reached second base, you know, I heard the crowd going crazy, and then I looked at, you know, our third base coach Taylor Black, and he told me that it was a home run, and I started laughing immediately because, you know, I knew that I definitely mishit the ball, and you know, I didn't think it had a chance to go over. You know, I thought it was going to be foul at most, but they told me it, you know, it caught the foul pole, and you know, that was just a surreal moment for me because you know it was really funny that, you know, I didn't even get all the baseball, but you know in this game, you know, you can get away with something like that, especially when the wind's blowing in your favor.
Certain things in baseball are very, very rare. Like hitting for the cycle is rare. A triple play is rare. Grand slams don't happen all the time. I mean, and obviously, Josh, everybody says it, man. I want to be bases loaded, but when you hit it, I'm like, well, that thing is going, and the cameraman like that thing just went over the fence. So you didn't even know you didn't even know you hit it until the third base coach like, yeah, that was a home run. That's a home run right there, young man. Just keep running.
Yeah, because I was hustling around second base like a full sprint, and you know by the time I got to third, he was kind of just telling me to relax, like slow down, because it was a home run, and I just, you know, it was right before I got to third base, but you know definitely around the second base, I was looking around and I saw the umpires do the home run signal, and I just asked the third base coach, I was like, that was a home run, and he was like, yeah, and you know immediately it was up from there. You know, I started laughing and, you know, just enjoying that moment with my teammates, especially to get, you know, a 4-run lead in the first inning. So it was cool.
Just try to explain SEC baseball. We love it, obviously, but you get to do it because there are no down weeks. There aren't even out of conference. There is no thing as, oh man, yeah, we can, because baseball is the one sport you could be more talented than the other team, and it might not show on the scoreboard. Talk about SEC baseball for those who don't know, because while this is respectfully, while Vanderbilt is the laughing stock in football, that is not the case in baseball.
No, not at all, not at all. And SEC baseball is the most competitive league in baseball, in my opinion. And you know, I mean, I'm pretty sure everybody feels the same way. You know, there's a lot of talented teams, a lot of talented players. And like you said, there is no off week. You know, one moment you can feel like you're on top of the world, you know, and beating a good team, and then the next week you got to deal with another good team with, you know, guys on their teams that are potential prospects for the draft, and you know those same guys you'll see throughout the minor leagues at the next level. So it's really special to, you know, have that opportunity to play these guys at these high level schools, and you know go experience kind of what life is like over there for them when you're on the road. but yeah, it's the most competitive league in college baseball, and you got to come out to play every single weekend. And like you said, even midweeks, you kind of got a target on your back because you're an SEC school. So, a lot of teams will come through and get to play us for a midweek, and their main goal is definitely to try to beat an SEC team because we are. Uh, I wouldn't say superior, but we're definitely one of the best teams in the country due to the league that we play in. And I'd say that for every SEC team. Every midweek they play in, and every midweek we play in. I'm pretty sure there's a target on all of our backs because of the league we play in, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to go out there and compete every weekend. Experience this lifestyle of playing in the SEC. So.
Talking to Josh Rivera, shortstop, wearing that 2-4 for the Florida Gator baseball. I think the boys right now right at 31 wins, 10 losses, something like that. Really, really good record right now. I don't want to add another loss or not add enough wins. But Josh, you play on a team that don't got no weaknesses. Like most teams, they got to have good bats because they lack pitching. Most teams, they don't have late game heroics. No lead is safe with y'all. Y'all have shown that. You look at, don't let Twitter say, man, they down by 6. Yeah, well, now they up by 3 in the bottom of the 8. Like what? Because y'all can hit for the sucker. Y'all got power hitters. Y'all got guys that can play defense like yourself. How great is it for you to be able to say, look, man, I'm surrounded by great players. So I elevate my game, and in some of the best competition I'm gonna see, we wearing the same uniform.
Mm-hmm. It's great, being able to rely on the guy behind you and the guys around you is an amazing feeling, because you never have that moment of doubt where you think that a lead is too much for you, and it's definitely a huge thing for us, especially in this long season that we play. It's like 56 games or whatever. It's definitely amazing to kind of sit back and realize that we have the potential to be a great team, no matter if we're down or if we're up by a lot. We always have someone behind us that can answer for us if we don't get the job done. And just on the pitching side of things, we have a lot of guys that can make a lot of big pitches in big time situations to really seal the deal or get us out of a close situation and help the offense stay in the game. So it's amazing. It's definitely something that I take pride in. Definitely we all take pride in as a team, and we just try to keep passing the baton, honestly. Kind of just once one guy goes up and does his thing, we try to just piggyback off of that and see if we can come up with a bunch of quality ABs so that we can help our pitchers feel secure and comfortable with the lead, or vice versa. Pitchers make us feel comfortable and secure by shutting down a lineup and allowing the offense to kind of take off for us. So it's very special.
Josh, I mean, I'm not saying that you be getting caught up in the news clippings because you're gonna get all kinds of great publicity right now with the way you're playing individual and how y'all playing collective. But D1 baseball, look, they got you rated the number 2 shortstop in the country. I know that, and I know as a player, you got to say, look, that's great, but I don't want to let my mind go too far over there. But it's got to make you feel good knowing you're being recognized nationally for what you bring to the diamond.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it definitely makes me feel good. But I've never really had that type of like nobody ever really noticed me like that until this year. So it's definitely special, but at the same time, I still feel like the underdog because I've always had this ability in myself, but it's kind of different now that everybody else is starting to see it because of how I've matured so much on the diamond, and how that maturity is really taken off for me in the game, and it's just just a testament of me staying humble. I just gotta stay humble, keep my head down, and keep working, and that's all it is. I've had to deal with injuries in the past, and I didn't get as much reps as I needed to in order to play a full season like I have this year, and yeah, I mean, it's definitely a blessing to be noticed like that. But I know how quick it could change, and it's that's why I just decided to keep my head down and not let all that stuff get the best of me. Because at the end of the day, I'm here to win the championship with my team and be the leader that I can be for these guys. So yeah, it's cool, but I just want to keep the ball rolling. You know what I mean? I just want to keep grinding, keep my head down, and stay humble about it because, I know myself as a competitor better than anybody else. And yeah, I mean, like I said, it's special, but I just want to make sure I keep it going for myself and for my team.
Yeah, the shortstop position is probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest, when you talk about guys who got to stay on their toes, literally got to stay on their toes. What are you looking at? Because obviously yours is skill, anticipation, like watch. Are you looking at the batter? Like what are you keying on? Because most guys in baseball, let's face it. I mean, and this is respectfully. You start getting a little bit too big, they're gonna put you at first base because you can't run. They're gonna put you at first. You gotta learn how to. Hopefully, you 6'4". If you can run and you got a lot of range, they're gonna put you in the outfield. If you got a big arm, but they don't want you to move, put you at third. But shortstop, y'all boys got to be a different kind of agile. So what to you, what are you keying on when you're talking about the battering? What are you looking at? Because most guys aren't in your position. They played it when they're young, but as they get older, they're trying to get away from that because that's where all the action is.
Yeah, so I mean, growing up, I always had good reaction times. I was always pretty quick. But there was a time in high school where, my team already had a shortstop in place. So I got moved over to third. And, just all throughout high school, I was big on, speed ladder, jump rope, and, a bunch of agility drills to, help me stay on top of my footwork and, my agility. And, when I got to the University of Florida, I was presented with the opportunity to be the starting shortstop. And, in order to do that, I had to get my body in the right shape. So once again, I just prioritized my movement, side to side agility work, a lot of speed ladder, a lot of jump rope, and a lot of sprint work too. So I was able to get myself at a good place and where I wanted to be physically, and just get all the reps that I could at shortstop. And through all that work and all that dedication to that, I was able to win the starting shortstop job. And I've had hiccups in my career where, I was moved around a little bit, but, I've always had that agility and quickness of my reaction time. So it's been special to always just kind of prioritize that and work on that. And, the more I can continue to work on that, the better it has gotten. And, my range has definitely increased in my time here. And, I've definitely gotten faster, from working with our strength coordinator, Sean Burke. He's always had faith in me to get as good as I can, and the physical aspect of the game. So it's definitely been a treat. It's been very special for me and my team. For me to be able to play shortstop position and really hold it down.
Josh, most coaches in college baseball don't come with the pedigree, don't come with the resume like Coach Kevin O'Sullivan. I mean, he's recognized. If you know baseball, he walk in any room and people like, that's coach. What is it like playing for a guy like that? That's literally done it all. Obviously, I don't know if you can get a resume as great as his. He want to add another national championship, which I know that's what you guys are trying to do. But how special is it playing for a guy like that?
Oh, it's very special. He's an intense competitor, and he definitely just wants to bring the best out of you as a competitor. And he wants to develop you into a great teammate and even a better man. So it's very special to play for someone like that. And there's times where when you're not playing the way you want to do or the way you want to play, he definitely lets you know. And he just does it for the pure reason to just trying to exceed the best out of you, and he wants you to really blossom in that aspect of the game. And he always just wants to bring that fierce competitor out. He's always preached to us how intense this league is and how intense these games could get, especially in the long stretch of games. So he definitely just tries to continue to make us work and compete day in, day out, no matter what happens or how we're feeling. Because at the end of the day, we all have a job here to do, and that's to win. And like you said, his track record, the amount of times he's been an SEC champion, and how he's won national championship and been to the College World Series many times. It's definitely very special for all of us to have the opportunity to play under someone like that. And he just constantly preaches to us how we have to be intense competitors out there to really get what we want out of this game. And for us, that's definitely a national championship. So we're trying to get back to Omaha win another SEC championship and just, work together as a team, by being great teammates and fierce competitors all together as one. So it's very special.
Speaking of special, I mean, you guys have that fierce competitiveness coming from the top down with Coach Sullivan. You guys got the bats, you guys got the pitching, you guys got the intensity, but y'all got a hell of a chemistry. Like y'all look like y'all really like, and that's one thing that I don't care how much Coach preach chemistry. Y'all got to want to do it. How much fun is it playing together? Because you guys, I could, as a former player, I said, man, you can't hide culture, man. And culture and chemistry are like, they live in the same house. So talk about the chemistry that you guys have, because I see you guys like really like love going out there playing with each other.
Yeah, we got a great chemistry, and it stems from great leadership. Myself as a leader, my roommate Tucker Talbot, who's been here as long as I have. He's also one of our leaders, and Brandon Spro, BT Ripel, all the older guys kind of set that standard when all the younger guys came in and the sophomores came back from last year and stuff. So I mean, our chemistry's been great this whole year, and it's definitely just come through all the work we put in together, and how much we encourage one another to get better day in, day out. And I've preached to all these guys that it doesn't matter how you feel. At the end of the day, we have a job to do, and we got to get better. There's always another opportunity to get better because there's people out there that are working just as hard, or if not harder than us. So our chemistry's been great through all the things we've been through. Ever since we all stepped foot on campus back in August, and we've put in all that quality time of work together, and we've gone through all the tough times together, and even the stretches in the season where we weren't playing at our best. We always stuck through it with each other, and that's the most important part of this game, especially in the SEC. You got to stay together as a team, because once you have people start giving up on that dream and giving up on that sight, it's pretty much lost. So we've just emphasized how hard we got to stay together, and how much time we put in together to play at this level. And it's just important that we keep that in mind and have the culture right for this season for sure.
Josh, you guys play in Georgia. Brandon Neely, he strikes out the side. He flexes a little bit. That's what pitchers do. The rep up didn't like it. Up throws them out. All right, cool. We ain't like it. All right, cool. Little home cooking going on. Cool.
Yeah.
Then Jack, Mr. Jack Cat, I could Caglin on. Listen, Jack Cat, I would just call him Cags. I ain't gonna butcher this man's last name. He does what he does and murder the baseball. That's what he do. He murders baseballs. When his celebration, when he's sticking his arms down, not high five with anybody, talk about not just Jack, but talk about the personality of this team, because most guys don't got enough personality to remember, all right, the ump want to throw my guy out. I'm going to go yard on that guy. To have enough, because the personality of this team is what I love. Like, even the announcers was like, oh, yeah, look at Cags over there trolling the freaking ump. Ump didn't like it. Ump like, if he even look at me, I'm going to throw him out. Talk about just having each other's backs like that, but guys' personality still showing even with they play.
Oh yeah, we all got each other's backs no matter what happens, and it was unfortunate, that Neely got thrown out of that game for us, and I mean, I don't even think he knew he was going to do that until he crossed home plate. I thought he was going to do the regular, the home run celebration we usually do, which is take your helmet off and clash helmets with each other. So that's why I had my helmet off. I was just sitting there waiting for him, and then he hit home plate and did that penguin walk and stuff like that. But I mean, he has a ton of personality. We all got a ton of personality, on this team, and I'm sure nobody was expecting him to do that, but it was definitely very funny. As you saw, all the guys were laughing with him and stuff after, and I mean, it was a great moment, especially, I couldn't laugh, because I had to hit the next at bat, and I didn't know how the umpire felt about it, so I was kind of just hoping.
So you look in our face like, listen, we good, right? Because that's my teammate, but I don't want no nonsense. I mean, when it comes to the umps, though, Josh, like, how do you? Because certain umps, man, they, if you get a certain ump, you be like, oh, this guy, he be calling strikes way out of the zone, or this guy right here, he don't like you to show any aggressiveness. Umps don't like when you make any gestures about their calls. If you even go, they looking at you like talk about the ump better relationship, because it seems like these umps, they just want you to respect them, which you do, but you like, I'm looking at the same pitch that you just saw, right? How do you deal with that when you got umps who they got like them short fuses?
Honestly, I've been here long enough to most umpires know me by name now. So every time I see these umpires out there in the field, because we have the same crew of umpires the whole weekend, so they'll rotate from third base umpire to second base umpire, first base umpire. And, I'll see these guys from game 1 to game 3, and I get to talk to them as soon as I get out there. Ask them how they're doing and stuff like that. And you kind of have an idea going into the game of what's going to happen, and it's more so of, umpires just playing by the rules. Uh, excuse me. We've had, a lot of rule changes in college baseball, and now they're kind of required to just basically enforce those rules. So you kind of have an idea of which umpire is going to enforce the rules a lot, stricter than others, and you kind of just got to play around that. You know what I mean? So yeah, going into that, you just always respect them and talk to them. And of course, there's going to be moments in the game where you may disagree with the umpire, but it should never be to a point where we're disrespecting them, or they're disrespecting us for no reason. So we just try to keep that mutual respect level and be aware of which umpires are going to enforce the rules, especially in a intense game. So knowing that, we kind of just play around it. And yeah, like I said, we just try to talk to the umpires, make sure we're on the same page for the most part.
Josh, we talked about playing in the SEC, even out of conference play. We got that team on the Panhandle that we deal with. We got that team down there in South Florida, really in South Florida, not USF. Sorry, USF in Tampa. I don't know how the hell South Florida is in Tampa. That's nowhere near South Florida. It's more like West Florida. Anyway, is there a team you like playing against? Because it seems like y'all will find a way to develop a rivalry with anybody y'all play. It'll say, man, we just got Florida versus Stetson this weekend. They get to talking trash. Then we got. Is there a certain team that when you see them on the schedule, like, man, I like playing them guys?
I'd say for me, mostly Miami. That series is always a big series. One of our big series for the Battle of Florida, and things always get pretty chippy out there, especially with all the emotions and competitive players on both sides. So it's definitely a lot of fun to play against those guys, because they're going to bring the energy, and you kind of just got to match their energy and kind of just battle it out, because it's always going to be a good game. They got a good team, good staff, good coaches, and but we got the same thing. So it's always like a clash of the Titans. It's always a lot of fun to play against those guys. And we're both high energy teams, and we like to really let our competitive nature take over. So it's a lot of fun playing those guys.
Josh, you carrying on one of the best traditions at the University of Florida when you talk about, Florida Gator baseball, man. I mean, you guys putting them out every year. I mean, Sterling Thompson, Judd Fabian. I know his little brother Derek is there, and you could have been in the majors right now. Talk about being able to say, look, everything I want as a player, everything I want as a person, everything I need, top to bottom, Florida is giving me that, and then some, on top of the fact that now we in this NIL era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, I could have been playing professional baseball, but I've always had a different path compared to everybody else, and patience is key for me, at least. Time will tell, and there's a reason for everything. I believe that God puts us exactly where we need to be, and we can't really fuss over it, because everything will come in time, and what's meant for you is meant for you. So I just always keep that in mind, and always try to just take things day by day, because I know that one day God will put me where I need to be in that specific moment. But as of right now, He's blessed me with the opportunity to come back and be a leader for this team and this program, and try to get it back to where they belong. So it's very important for me to just continue to live day by day, and continue to work no matter what, because good things will come in time. And if I just stay dedicated to my work and complete my school and being the leader that I can be for these guys, that good things will come.
And Josh, speaking of dedication, for those who don't know, when it comes to baseball, when you're a young man, when you're a young boy, forget weekends are done. You don't have weekends anymore when you're on the baseball circuit when you're a little kid. Then you go from that to IMG, which that's got to be a whole nother world as far as like even getting, the money aside. That's one thing, but you got to compete with some of the best players all over the country coming down that old Brayton to Florida. Then Coach Kevin O'Sullivan come and you get that dream, opportunity to come to the University of Florida to then tell MLB, I'm a chill on y'all for a second. I got some unfinished business because I'm keeping the main thing of I'm gonna graduate. With everything you've been through, being the first generation, getting scholarships, all these different. What do you say to your parents and your family, the ones who saw something in you to believe in your talent, to even make sure you're at all these tournaments in the summer to IMG to now?
Oh, I can't thank them enough, and I don't ever think that I'll be able to repay them to the point that they've, repay them to the point where they've given me everything they got. They've literally have given me everything. They've dedicated all their time and all their money and even their some of their valuable things to them. My mom sold all her jewelry to make sure that I could play travel ball and get an opportunity to go to college. And she's really big on jewelry, so she was doing that, and that's more valuable to her than anything else in this world. So like I said, I don't think I could thank them enough, and I truly intend on thanking them in the future, and trying to get them as much as I can, especially because of all the work they've done for me. But like I said, I can't thank them enough. Their support has been amazing throughout this whole time, and my this baseball lifestyle that I lived. And I guess the best way that I've always repaid them is just by staying dedicated to the game. No matter what hardships I face and whatever hiccups may come on the road, I always just talk to God. My family's really big on faith, and we always just talk to God and let Him deal out all of our problems for us as long as we keep working day by day. Because life is hard. As you get older, life doesn't get easier. So just keeping faith that like I said earlier, God will always put us where we need to be. And He gave me a great support system with my family, mom and my dad. They've sacrificed so much for me, and I just repay them now by staying focused in my schooling and staying focused on the baseball field. Putting all my time and dedication to that, because one day I will be able to treat them to nice things that we didn't really have the opportunity for back in the past. So it'll be special. But like I said, right now, it's all about just working day in, day out. And that time will come, that day will come where I can finally repay them and thank them for everything they've done for me. But yeah, I mean, they always continue to support me. And as of right now, I can't do anything to repay them but stay dedicated and continue to work through all the hardships.
And Josh, man, before I let you out of here, I mean, baseball aside, obviously, I mean, the fact that you became a hell of a player is not by coincidence when you got the best coaches, the best players, the best facilities. But I always call college training wheels for adulthood. Like, you go through a lot as a person in college. Let alone, yeah, I'm a student and I'm an athlete, but I'm a person in the midst of all of that. From a pandemic to NIL to just navigating injuries. What has Josh Rivera, the person, learned about himself?
Oh, I've definitely learned that, patience is the key. Being patient in this life is a big thing. And I was someone who grew up with no patience. I never wanted to wait for things, and I was always just a go-getter and trying to do everything and be perfect at it. But yeah, I've learned that being patient is the best kind of thing to have, and I've definitely learned how to kind of just get out of my own way because I'm my biggest enemy. So I tend to make things harder than it really is. That's speaking from school to baseball and to life itself. Being on my own up here and not really living off my parents anymore has definitely been a big eye opener, especially paying when it comes down to paying your own rent, paying for gas, making sure you stay on top of credit card payments and all these extra payments you got to make. Growing into adulthood is definitely a challenge. And yeah, I've just learned that you got to get out of your own way and kind of just go through things head on. Whatever problems you're going through, you can't run through them. You always just gotta, like I said, talk to God, and He'll show you the way. And you continue to go through those things because on the other side you'll come out more prepared for next time, and you learn as you go. So I've definitely learned how to be more patient and kind of get out of my own way in my decision making, and that's in school, baseball, and in life in general. So it's been a long learning process, but like I said, there's more to learn every day.
Josh, you came back for your senior season because you got unfinished business to, get better at your game, which you more have done that. But on y'all staff, Mike Rivera, that was on that 2017 national championship team as a student. He's on that staff. Have you had a chance to talk to him? Because it's one thing to see that 2017 Natty. He was on that team, and he went to the bigs. How much have you picked his brain to be like, hey man, what is it like going all the way being the last team standing?
Oh yeah, I've definitely talked to him a lot, and with him being here, he's brought back guys like Dalton Guthrie, who also was on that team, and I talked to both of them a lot in the off season, and I still talk to Mike about it a little bit now. It's been real special to have him back, and have the guys that he's brought back to campus be here as well, so we can all pick their brains and kind of just tell us all the same thing. It was something that was special that they went through, and like I said, earlier about chemistry and stuff, all those guys had, the best chemistry that you can have as a team, and they held everybody accountable. So whenever somebody wasn't doing their job, instead of a coach getting onto them, it was more of a player and a teammate, that had that will to win, and they would kind of just straighten each other out and make sure that everybody was on the same page, and that was on the page of winning. They all wanted to win. They all wanted to win a championship, and regardless of any hardships they faced, they stayed together and held each other accountable and just put in the work together. So that's kind of what he's preached for us. He's preached that we got to stay together and, play hard no matter what, because in this game, anything can happen. And regardless of any hardships that we may face, we got to stay together and hold each other accountable, because at the end of the day, that's all we can control. We can't really control the results of everything, but we can control how we prepare and how we hold ourselves to that standard of winning a championship and what we call championship baseball. So it's been really special to have him back, and like I said, have him bring guys that have been on that team to come back and talk to us all as a team together. So it's been amazing, and then I'm very excited to see how the rest of the year plays out. But like I said, we just got to stay together and hold each other accountable and control what we can control.
He is Josh Rivera, shortstop, wearing that twofold.
Mm-hmm.
He won baseball, got him rated number 2 shortstop in the country. Don't get mad at him. That's what they said about him. Don't get mad at him. A man of purpose, a man of faith, a man of preparation, but learn how to become a man of patience. Got out of his own way, because that's the thing about college. We want to be the best athletes. We want to become the best people we possibly can. This man is doing both. I'm just looking forward to seeing whatever MLB team he goes to. Hopefully he goes to the Atlanta Braves, the best team in baseball. Just deal with it. That's just how it goes. Josh, man, I appreciate you taking the time. Stay healthy, man, and keep doing what you're doing. Tell Coach Sullivan I said, man, love what he's been doing, man. And tell Jack to leave them balls alone, man. He be knocking the lining out of him, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I got you. I appreciate the opportunity to come on here and talk to you guys. I'm very grateful for it.
All right, man. Stay healthy, man. Hopefully you guys be the last team standing. I will be talking trash to anybody that will listen.
All right, yes, sir. I appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
All right, you have a good one.